How do I tell my 23F girlfriend 24F she smells without hurting her feelings? Let me premise this by saying, I love my girlfriend. I absolutely do. Before we even started dating we have been best friends. Since the age of 12 we met in high school and immediately clicked. She's my person, my soulmate, the love of my life. I'll admit, the romantic side to our relationship is pretty fresh. We only started actually dating this year, after knowing each other for 12 years. And secretly being in love with each other, but too afraid to say anything about it for 3. So, I love my girlfriend, but she smells. I first noticed her smell in high school, a mix between really bad B.O and that horrible damp smell clothes that have been left in the washing machine overnight. Get it? Didn't bother me back then, not really. I knew that her family wasn't the wealthiest, and to be honest I mostly just felt sorry for her. I knew that she wasn't allowed to wash her clothes as frequently as she should have been, or to save money, or that she skipped showers sometimes to save on the water bill. I had tried in the past to subtly get her to use my deodorant, or get her to spray my perfume on herself during school, but her smell never seemed to bother her, at least outwardly, and she certainly never said anything about it. In fact, she didn't seem to really be aware of it, so I tried to not let it bother me, and over time I got used to her smell. In fact, I completely stopped noticing it over the years. Other people have asked me about it, or have mentioned her smell, and I shrugged them off. I really had stopped noticing it. But here's the problem. We recently moved in together, finally, after years of dreaming about being roommates, and talking about all the cool stuff we'd have in our apartment, when we'd finally get our own place. We did it. It's small, and we share a bedroom, something we didn't originally plan on doing, as our romantic relationship is so new, and we thought it might be best for us each to have our own space. Plus we hadn't planned on telling our parents about the level up, shall we say, of our relationship, something that is now no longer an issue. They're very supportive. It was my mom who first pointed out the funky smell lingering in our new place. She was coming to visit for the first time since we moved in, when my mother, God bless her, blurted out, "This place absolutely stinks." Upon first stepping foot inside I was immediately irritated and embarrassed on my girlfriend's behalf. My mom has been pointing out my GFS smell for pretty much the entirety of our knowing each other. I told her that my GFS family was poor and basically everything I've told you guys, and she was sympathetic, though she did continue to bring it up over the years noticeably. Whenever my GF stayed the night at our house, my mom would always insist on changing my bed sheets after she left, and airing out my room, lighting incense or putting on our diffusers. Once she'd officially departed, she didn't want me to smell, or our house. I genuinely believe this was just a slip of the tongue on my mother's part, and that she did not mean to potentially humiliate my GF or upset her/me, but the damage was done. I had become aware of the smell again. The house did smell, and badly. B.O, damp clothes, the same smell that had followed my GF around all throughout our teenage years. Now that I was aware of it once again, I was embarrassed. I've always prided myself on my cleanliness and personal hygiene. To me, smelling good and being clean is important, but now our new home smelled just like my GF. We've had people over since my mom, and I know they noticed the smell also. It's in the quick crinkle of their noses as they step foot inside, or the housewarming gift of expensive fragrant candles and essential oils. My mom even offered to buy us our own diffuser. My first thought of action was to attempt to get rid of the smell. Obviously I washed my girlfriend's clothes with the best smelling detergent I could find, still packed in a suitcase, and yet to be properly hung up. I told my girlfriend I just felt like doing laundry. She didn't seem to care, and wasn't bothered by my haul out of her suitcase. She just wore my stuff. Next I lit some of the many gifted candles. To make the house smell a bit better, there's pretty much always one burning. When we are home it helped a lot. The house definitely smells a lot nicer than before. But here's the thing, my girlfriend still smells. I know she uses deodorant. I can see her using it each morning, and we've showered together plenty of times. Since we started dating, she definitely washes herself properly, soap and all, so I don't understand where the horrible B.O smell is coming from. Washing her clothes helped a lot with the damp smell, but since the first time I washed them, they've started to smell damp again. I told her, if she accidentally forgets to take out her laundry and they still smell, she can just rewash them. It wasn't a big deal and money wasn't a factor, and she agreed, but that's pretty much the extent that came from that. Since I started noticing the smell again, I'll admit, I've been a little turned off. Sexually speaking, I love my girlfriend and our sex life is great. No, it's awesome, but I find myself not wanting to have sex with her smelling the way she does. In order to not hurt her feelings by saying anything, I started orchestrating us showering together as a kind of foreplay. That's helped a lot, but in the heat of the moment we don't always shower beforehand, and without being needlessly cruel or too grossly descriptive, going down on her without a shower beforehand is just out of the question. Her smell was never a deal breaker, so to speak, in the past, but now that we are dating and having sex, I can't go back to just ignoring it. I'm not going to break up with her over this, no way, but something's gotta give. So Reddit, I need your help. How do I tell my girlfriend that she needs to start taking better care of her personal hygiene without seeming like the world's worst girlfriend and, generally speaking, a total asshole? TL. Doctor, my girlfriend has always had terrible B.0 and bad personal hygiene, and now that we are dating it's affecting our romantic/sexual relationship. How do I get her to take better care of herself without being cruel or needlessly hurting her feelings? She could have something going on with any number of places on her body, and, like the other commenters are pointing out, she's likely lived with the smell for so long that she doesn't notice. Hear me out. Sulfur soap. It's a harsh soap and should not be used daily. One time. See if it helps. Read the labels. I work with homeless, abused, and neglected children and teens, and very often we have youngsters come in with a history of bad hygiene. They just have a smell, no matter how many times they shower or bathe. Sometimes we ask them to bathe with a bar of sulfur soap and that usually clears things up. I will look into this. I think I'm definitely going to have to just grow a pair, so to speak, and somehow find a way to tell her as gently as possible that she smells. Just finding the right words is going to be uncomfortable. Most comments speak to think she has an undiagnosed medical issue, and I can definitely see where they are coming from. This is also something to consider. But again, how to tell her? You must tell her not only for the home life, but this may affect her professional life as well. She is likely going to be overlooked for jobs due to this issue. Good luck. I actually knew someone that had an odor for what seemed like her entire life. When she was in her 20s, she said she found out she had some kind of fungus. I don't remember details, but maybe it's something biological. I'm realizing this may be the case. I just don't know how to bring it up. This is really common, especially if she's a larger woman. A doctor I shadowed with recommended putting deodorant under boobs and, well, where the skin folds. Edit, I should clarify, not the vulva or booty, just tummy if applicable. If she is showering properly, brushing her teeth, and washing her clothes, and she still smells, and has since high school, I suspect something medical is going on. I'd encourage her to see her physician and delicately bring it up. If she's lived with it her whole life, I'm sure she doesn't even notice it. She regularly showers and uses deodorant. As for washing her clothes properly, I think that's probably just a learned behavior. After years of not being allowed to wash her clothes properly, I've told her she can rewash her clothes etc. That money isn't an issue and our water bill will be fine. But I think she is probably subconsciously trying to avoid wasting money by rewashing clothes, even when they still smell. I know she often rewears dirty stuff, because that's what she has always done. But even when she wears freshly washed clothes she still smells. Something medical seems to be the common theme in the comments. But I don't know how to bring up something like that to someone. That they should see a doctor as they may have a medical issue. I don't want to frighten her or make her feel ashamed. You're the closest person to her, so that's your role. Just be gentle and kind. It doesn't sound like an issue of not taking care of herself. You're doing her laundry and said she's showering regularly and properly. Something else is going on. That seems to be the case. Probably bring up going to the doctors in concern for her health. Maybe a weird question, but does she have any kind of medical condition that might be affecting her sense of smell? If not, then it may just be that she's grown so accustomed to the smell that she doesn't notice it anymore. I think what you need to do is have a talk with her, kindly and tactfully, to let her know what's going on. Tell her that it doesn't affect the way you feel about her, that she's still the most important person in your life, etc. It will be difficult for her to hear, I imagine. But if it's brought up the right way, hopefully she'll understand. She's perfectly healthy, medically, no issues to speak of, that I can figure out. Her sense of smell is also normal. When my mom mentioned the odor in the house, my GF said she could smell it, but she seems to not notice her own smell, it seems. I don't want to humiliate her. I worry that if I bring it up now after years and years of friendship, she may feel somewhat betrayed, as if I purposefully didn't mention it as some kind of joke or prank. I don't want her to feel as if I've been lying to her or thinking badly of her for our entire relationship. Is she showering daily? Does she change her clothes and shoes daily? Funnily enough, her feet don't smell. They never have. She does shower daily, yes. Sometimes twice a day, if she's been at work. The smell of sweat when she comes home from work is almost unbearable to be around. In that case, she needs to talk to a doctor. The smell from sweat is caused by bacteria, and if she's showering once or twice daily along with using deodorant, she might have some medical condition. If it's affecting you this much, you gotta address it. It's going to be painful and awkward, and it's going to hurt her feelings, no matter what you say. So it's best to just approach it directly and honestly. If I ever have a hanging butcher, I may be embarrassed if it's pointed out, but grateful it was, so I could rectify it. Either she's not showering enough or her deodorant is not strong enough. She may also be wearing clothes not thinking they smell, but they actually do. If she's showering regularly and wearing clean clothes, then something medical is up and she needs to get checked out. She definitely wears dirty clothes, but I also wear stuff like any normal person, and the smell is never as bad. I do agree with the general consensus in these comments that it appears to be a medical issue. Bringing it up is going to be pretty awkward and uncomfortable, though. It absolutely will. And she honestly may just be smellier than other people. My sister needs like extra strength deodorant because she sweats more and smells faster. So maybe when you can wear stuff and it's fine, she might not be able to. Maybe this could help. You don't necessarily have to mention how long she's smelled for. You could make it seem like it's a newer issue, so she's not as embarrassed. It'll still be embarrassing, but finding out you stunk up an entire apartment and everyone knew for a long time would be way worse. Good luck. It could be something she eats. Certain people sweat out different scents based on the foods that they eat. A change in diet could be helpful if that's what's causing the problem. Maybe. We eat a lot of Asian cuisine. My GF generally avoids dairy and red meat. I can't think of anything specific that she eats that could cause such a strong smell though. Garlic, onions, vinegar/pickled things, some spices in Indian/sea curries. Could be yeast buildup. Also, I read recently on some subreddit about people with deep belly buttons who had no idea they were supposed to be cleaned. Despite showering regularly, they stunk and couldn't figure out why, and then they cleaned out their filthy gunk-filled belly buttons and alleviated their stench. I've been doing a lot of googling. I'm wondering if it's not some kind of fungal skin condition. I don't want to assume the worst, but a doctor's visit seems likely if the issue continues the way it is. That smell in the clothes is difficult to get rid of. Masking it with scented detergent will only go so far. And I personally can't stand strongly perfumed detergents and scented candles. So I would be bothered both by the smell and the detergent and the candles in your apartment. To get rid of the smell, soak the clothes in vinegar. Get gallons of cheap vinegar and let the clothes sit in it for 15 minutes before you wash them. Make sure every single fiber is soaked. The smell comes from sulfuric compounds and the acid will break them apart, instead of just masking them like detergent does. The vinegar won't harm the clothes. Before you do that, clean the washing machine. Run it empty on the highest temperature with a generous scoop of detergent with bleach. There are also special tablets you can get to deep clean a washing machine. Then always leave the door of the machine open to let it air out. I've also had success with soaking in hot water with baking soda, which is easier to then wash off than the vinegar smell. YMMV though, so try whichever you're comfortable with. Bacterial vaginosis can have very mild Almost unnoticeable symptoms except a smell. This could be another potential medical condition she has that she has either gotten used to or doesn't notice. The good news is, it's very easily fixed with a course of antibiotics. Some people have an issue with body odor, and it's medical, and showering/deodorant doesn't really help. She should check out a dermatologist. Just tell her nicely, and she'll probably appreciate it long term. One of my family members had the same issue, but they started going to the dermatologist and that fixed it. Exclamation mark. Yep. Medical issue seems to be the general consensus, unfortunately. I won't lie and say I hope this wasn't going to just be an easy fix, but I'm realizing that's not the case. If there's something potentially wrong with my girlfriend, it's very important to me that we figure out what it is. I just don't know how to broach the topic, especially when I don't think she knows there is an issue to begin with. Look into trimethylaminitia. It's a disease that is digestive based. If she is clean and still smells, it may be the issue. I think other people have addressed some of the health stuff that could be going on, but I think not properly addressing the laundry could be contributing to it. I'd recommend borax and baking soda. Maybe do some research on these. Also, more detergent is not better. It will build up and ruin clothes. High efficiency washes should be avoided. Clothes can be washed, but if there is a ton of mildew, the smell will come back. This is where borax will help. If your girlfriend has a lot of athletic clothes, these can keep smells differently. Look up an enzyme detergent. I think I also read that these should not be put in the dryer. Make sure you have a good mattress cover and are properly washing your sheets. 2. Good luck. Thank you. As it currently is, I'm having to change our bed sheets once a week or so. Otherwise the smell starts to linger in our bed. I've never done so much laundry in my life. Well, once a week is normal and healthy for sheets. My ex-husband would give the sheets a putrid vinegar smell. It was awful. A water-resistant, fully zipped mattress cover will save your mattress. Maybe check out pillow covers for under the pillowcase. If the pillows are old, toss them. Get fresh ones and fully zipped water-resistant covers. This will help night sweats from absorbing in and holding smells. Take a look at other home goods too. Does the sofa need a deep clean? Throw pillows? These things can harbor smells. Using baking soda to wash underarms actually works too. Info. How long after a shower does she start to smell again? Hours. I could leave for work in the morning and come home in the afternoon and she will smell badly of sweat. Even if we took a shower together that morning. What type of fabric is her clothing? If the fabric is some type of polyester, it might increase the smell because the fabric doesn't breathe. Best is a high percentage of cotton. But IDK did not mention whether it is better on some days, and I doubt that she is wearing polyester clothes all the time. Not to sound like a commercial, but washing clothes after being warm for a long time won't remove the smell entirely. Try borax 20 mule team name brand with the detergent that removes smell. I have dogs, and that helps remove urine smell and carpet. You have a little bit of an out here. Tell her you always assumed the smell would go away if she had better access to a washing machine. When it didn't, you became surprised and concerned for her health and have been trying to figure out how to bring it up since. It isn't entirely a lie, as you had always blamed her on poverty. It's just emphasizing parts of the story dishonestly to save her feelings a little bit. Years ago, my friend went through this with her boyfriend. We were pretty young, and he was living kinda rough with his grandma, but the major problem was he drank every day and would just pass out and drunk sweat all night, then get up the next day and repeat. He was cool and very well liked, but all his friends knew about the smell. They told her that she would have to tell him. She did tell him, and it went easier than she expected. With him also, the clothes were a major factor which she started maintaining for him. So once the clothes were under control, she encouraged him to shower daily and everything was fine after that. Hopefully it will go as smoothly with your GF. You mentioned in the comments how, when she sweats, the odor is unbearable. I would suggest drinking a lot of water, doing more sports together and eating well. All of this will release all the toxins and might help a lot with her odor. This might not be easy to change all of this, but drinking a lot of water is feasible and good for you guys. I'm saying this because we smell real bad in my family when we sweat. Except me. I stopped smelling when I started working out daily and drinking a ton of water. The thing I've noticed about smelly clothes is that frankly, once they've got that funk smell, it may not ever come out. Just sit her down and don't beat around the bush. Explain that you're concerned with her health first, then rip the band-aid off. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.